Hey there, health students. I'm going to be doing a quick video today on the refusal skills. This is a section of our addiction unit that I find is really important. Research shows that just saying no is not really effective when it comes to refusing drugs. So, as health educators, we want you to know different options. We want you to have a wide variety of things that you can do to avoid drug use. And here's why. I'm going to paint a picture for you. I believe that in the Just Say No program, there's this image that we give kids, this idea that you're going to be walking down some dark, creepy alley. And there's going to be, steam coming up from the gutters and loud noises and a cat. And all of a sudden, this creepy, dark figure is going to loom out. And they're going to say, "Hey, want some drugs, kid?" And you're going to sit there, quivering, shaking. But then you'll remember, just say no. And you'll proclaim it, "No!" And the creature will wither away into the darkness to go, "Oh, they know the magic word, it's no." It's not exactly how it's going to look for all of us. I'll tell you a story about how I had a similar incident happen to me and how I used one of these refusal skills that wasn't just say no, but I used a refusal skill that was effective. But I will say that the reason why this is important is because you're probably not going to be in some dark alley with a stranger. The first time you're offered a substance, alcohol, tobacco, or drugs, it's probably going to be by someone you know. A family member, a friend, someone who cares about you, someone who loves you. It might be at a family event. You might have a aunt or uncle or someone say, "Hey, do you want a drink? Do you want a beer?" Now, to stand up and jump on the picnic table and yell, "No!" might not be your best option. It might not be the only way of handling it. Condemning them to hell might not be the only way that you can deal with this. There's lots of other ways. So let's get into refusal skills. And remember, hopefully you've looked over the slideshows for this, and I'll provide them in the video so you can see them quickly. It's not for note-taking, it's for learning. So if you want to take notes on it, I encourage you to go back and look at those slides. The first one we have is make a joke. Sometimes you can make the situation a little lighter by telling a joke. Maybe you're in a social setting where you don't need to make a big deal. Maybe you are of age of drinking, and someone offering you a drink but you're not quite comfortable, you can make a joke about it. I don't know what that joke is. I would hope that it's appropriate, and if you're going to tell it in school, it needs to be appropriate. But I hope you're able to make a joke, maybe about the situation, maybe about your setting, maybe about the substance itself. And then you can just, tell them that you're not really interested in it. And I know for a lot of you, you're like, "Make a joke? That just sounds so weird. How would you make a joke about it?" But it might just be your personality that you're able to do that. And so I just want to encourage you to be able to do that. The second one is give a reason it's a bad idea. You might give a reason such as, personally, I don't like smoking because I am an athlete and I've worked really hard, and to just smoke and really risk jeopardizing what I've worked so hard on, just it doesn't make sense for me. Or maybe the reason it's a bad idea is you plan on driving later and that drink is not something you want in your system if you're going to be driving. All right, so giving a reason why it's a bad idea. Just saying no can be effective, but saying no and here's why could really, improve your likelihood of convincing this person that you're not interested. And if they do love and respect you, if it's someone you know, then it's going to be easy enough for them to say, "Oh, okay, I got you, no problem." Sometimes, though, if it's a different situation, you might have to be a little more persistent. We'll get into that. Number 3 that I have up there is make an excuse. I don't care if you have to lie here. You're making an excuse. Maybe it's, "Oh, I'm going to go and hang out with my grandma later. If she smells smoke on me, she will kill me." Or maybe it's, "No, no thank you. I have to go and pick my little sister up later, and I really don't want to be having any alcohol in my system when I'm driving my sister." Now, this might just be an excuse, and you might think, "Well, I don't need an excuse. I'll just tell them no." That's fine, you can do that, but an excuse could validate and maybe just give you a little bit of a chance to get them off your back. Because I'm being serious here when I say that. They might not just be saying, "Hey, do you want a drink?" because they genuinely care about you. They might be pressuring you. They might be wanting you to do it. Because people who do drugs or smoke or drink, in most cases, do it in a social setting where they do it to make everyone feel like they're somehow connecting over it. We know that teens will drink or use drugs because of social pressures, because of self-esteem issues, because of experimentation, because they're simply curious, because they want to know, because they've seen it on TV or in music, they hear about it, and they just want to try it. There's all these reasons. But another reason is rebelling, feeling like they're an adult, feeling like they're doing things that they're not supposed to do because they're in control of their lives. Now, if one person doesn't drink, but the rest do, that one person's an outlier. But if one person drinks and the rest don't, that one person is an outlier. And drinking in these type of situations is usually social. So they're going to want you to drink. They're going to be persistent. Maybe they want to get you drunk. Maybe they want to get you high. Maybe they want to get you hooked like they are, to maybe bring you to their level, or maybe to make you vulnerable. Okay, so just saying no firmly, number 4, could be a good start. No. Not, not really feeling it, or no, not today, or don't hesitate. You say no. You be firm in your beliefs. And you can use the other ones if you want. Number 7 we have is repeat, repeat, repeat. Nope, nope, not interested, nope. All right, and that takes us to a couple other ones. But with this, you can say no, make an excuse, give a reason. All right. Suggest an alternative activity, number 5. Hey, maybe we can go get some beer and we can drink tonight. Or maybe we can go bowling. Maybe we can go and shoot hoops. Maybe we can go to a movie. Right? Suggest an alternative activity. Because if this is a social situation, and the one person says, hey, maybe we should go drink. And you say, hey, maybe we should all go for a swim. Maybe we should all go do something. I don't care. Anything. And the other people in the middle over here can say, yeah, that's a good idea. Or no, that's a terrible idea. Either way, you're going to create an option for other people. This isn't just about you being able to get away from this person pressuring you or this situation where you might use a substance. You're giving other people an option out. Number 6, you can simply ignore the suggestion. Show them that it's not even worth your time. If you walk into a setting and the person says, hey, would you like a drink? And you say, where are your bathrooms at? Or where would you like me to put my coat? Just ignore the situation. Show that it's not even something that's worth entertaining. Okay? Number 7, again, is repeat, repeat, repeat. Any of these ones listed, repeat. Number 8, I believe, is probably the most powerful one and the one that you really need to consider in these situations, especially the ones where repeating and saying no and doing these different types of refusal skills isn't working. It's leave. Just leave. Call your mom. She might be pissed you're at a party, but call your mom. Call your dad, your guardian, whoever. Okay, get out of the situation, because you're not just leaving for yourself. There might be a situation where you leaving now, number 3, gives your friend an excuse. Oh, they're my ride, I have to go with them. Oh, I'm staying with them tonight, I can't come home later after they're already there. Right? So you're giving other people an opportunity to leave as well. Okay, so number 8, just leave the situation. Now I will say that number 9 is one I'll give you an example of. Thanks, but no thanks. Sometimes being polite is fine. You don't have to get, like I said again, condemn them to hell if they offer you something, because it might be in a social situation where maybe you are 21, maybe you are 18, and they ask you if you'd like to smoke. It's legal, right? If everything's legal, it should be okay for you. No, tobacco's the worst thing. It is literally the worst thing, okay? But it might not be the situation where they're trying to harm you. Maybe drinking, smoking, doing drugs has been normalized. Maybe addiction has consumed their life, and they don't see a reason why you shouldn't be a part of that. So saying no thank you can work. But I will say that when I was in Dublin a couple years ago, my wife and I met up with a friend, and we were out in the Temple Bar area, which is a big social bar kind of pub style area with these big alleyways. And we were leaving, we were walking back, we were traveling the next day, and so we didn't stay out very late. So it wasn't that late. And we were walking to the end of the street where our friend was going to take a right and go back to Trinity College, and we were going to go to our hostel. And this guy walks up next to me to my right. My wife and our friend are to the left of me. And he mumbled something in this thick accent that I couldn't quite understand. And I simply just said to him, excuse me, I didn't hear what you said. And he said it again. And I was like, oh, I didn't really understand you. Can you repeat that, please? And he said, would you like to buy some cocaine? And he kind of looked around because he said it so loud. And I said, oh, no thanks, not really into that. He said, okay, cheers. And he walked away. Now, according to the just say no scenario I listed, or I basically gave you earlier at the beginning of this, I should have just turned to him, puffed my chest, and ripped my superhero shirt open and said, no! And he would have withered away. But no, I just simply said, no thanks, not into it. And the guy, oh, okay, fine. Went away. I'm sure he thought I was some tourist that was looking to score, something like that, enjoy my experience in Dublin. He was not interested in going any further in that conversation with me, and all I had to do was politely say no. Right? Sometimes if you say no so powerfully, or you're rude, or you make a scene out of it, you might be met with a pretty negative response. Someone who's willing to sell you drugs probably makes other poor life decisions, and getting in a fight with you might be one of them that they're fine making. Okay, so sometimes being polite is a nice way of doing it. If that doesn't work, then you can be firm, you can make your excuses, you can suggest an alternative activity, you can leave, things like that. But this brings us to number 10, and in my opinion is probably the most powerful one, and that is power in numbers. Part of our self-esteem unit, one of the suggestions I gave you for improving your self-esteem is surround yourself with people who value and respect you. Also, surround yourself with people who value and respect you enough to know where you stand on drug use. Maybe they are evenly yoked like you and they don't believe that they should be taking drugs as well. And so you're going to go to a friend's house with them and you all say to each other, hey, if there's alcohol there, can we just agree we're going to leave? Or hey, if so and so shows up again and they have X, Y, Z of drugs, can we agree that we're just going to tell them that we're not comfortable with and ask them to leave or leave ourselves? Power in numbers. Because if four of you come to the situation and one of them shows up and says, hey, I got some drugs, and the four of you say, hey, we're not cool with that. All right. Now, this one person, being that they have drugs or alcohol, whatever, uh, this could be something that you separate, you leave, you go your own way, but it could be also something that helps them. It could change them because they want to interact. They want to be a part of that social group. They want to be someone, an influencer in it. Maybe that's why they brought the drugs. Maybe they can't rely on their personality to be interesting enough at a party or a gathering. They need to bring drugs to be interesting enough. And now you tell them that's not acceptable for you and your group of friends, your power in numbers. And maybe they still desperately or just want to be a part of that group. Maybe they're okay leaving the drugs or alcohol or tobacco. You strengthen your numbers and you help somebody. So remember, just saying no can work. It can be effective. But you should also have another variety of ways of saying no. Power numbers, being with people who love and respect you, knowing who you're with, trusting who you're with. So many situations we see where teenagers are harmed or they're tempted or tested and they use drugs, alcohol, is because they're around people they want to impress, not people that love and respect them. So going back to our self-esteem, if you know who you are, if you have confidence in that, and you surround yourself with people who value and respect you, and you're in these situations, you don't need to try drugs, alcohol, tobacco to figure out who you are. Because who you are is based on your morals, hard work, all right? Based on who you are as a person, not what you do. Doing a drug, drinking, smoking does not make you any more of an adult. It doesn't make you a bad person either. It's just a poor decision. But the problem with addiction is you can only make that poor decision so many times before it becomes your only decision. Stage 5, the addiction cycle, loss of control. So I want you to pick 3 or 4 of these to make your top go-to refusal skills. Just say no and repeat can be 2 of them. That's fine. But pick 2 others. And I really encourage the power of numbers. Know who you're with and be a positive influence on them. Be someone who's going to help them make better decisions. All right. We'll see you.